what does some above the line do for us? If this works, I'm getting way out ahead of myself on this, but if it were to work, what would national radio look like, right? Where you could take those same kind of creative concepts, and you can't get quite the targeting with national radio as you can with Pandora. That's kind of the initial thought there. So it's a very small percentage of our spend. When I mentioned like $1 million a month or $750,000 a month over the last few months as we fluctuated up and down, that's a very, very small percentage of it. Most of our marketing is the marketing we sell. It's search, display, social, kind of pushing our products and services. And the idea there was, at the same time, I know you guys have all heard that marketing team is now tied to the premise contact strategy, the email marketing. The idea is that, and look, we all get our email boxes are full of a lot of crap, but between email marketing, Facebook, display ads, if someone does click on our website, we then track them around the internet. Our ads are showing up, and as they're out there. That probably happens to you all. I know when I click the number of stuff. But if we're targeting these at that 3 to 5 million SMBs, if we're kind of frequently in their inbox, in their news feed, if they see us when they're surfing the web, and then most of them will never take any action. A few will, and people follow up on those. But the idea is then when our salesperson follows up with a call, right, that's where the magic happens. And that's what we're setting out to go do. So Pandora is just really us just barely putting our toes in the water to see what does some above the line do. Like if we can draw visitors to our website, one of the things I'm sure we'll find out is we need to make some changes to our website. And it's amazing, some of our early tests, the marketing team gives me a crap on this because so far ugly wins. Uglier ads that perform better than pretty ads. I'm like, really? That ad's performing better than that ad? That doesn't make any sense to me. But it's so data driven. And we'll do the same thing. And Pandora may turn out to be something that's this, and we may find out that above the line kind of stuff does or does not work really well. But my message there to you all was we're trying. We know we need to continue to do different things. I think we are on to some things right now. Pretty clearly in this data, the giant spreadsheet, it was pretty clearly we're very profitable in some of the things that we're doing today, and we'll look about how do you expand those, how do you do more of those, and so on. But thanks for the other thing I would say, Christian, to your comments on the comp plan. It'll be really important for this group, and I know this group isn't shy. It's a little different, I know, on these video calls, but one thing I do know for certain is we probably didn't get it 100% right. We spent a lot of time talking to you all, to your people, to our top people, the sales leaders around the country. So it's not a Russ Michaels plan, it's not a Kevin Jasper plan. It's really a plan that's been built up from our leaders saying, boy, it'd be great if we could do this, if we could do that, right? So that's really what this plan is. I'm assuming we didn't get it fully right, and there'll be some tweaks we'll want to make over time. But it is great to hear that. The idea is exactly what you mentioned there with your rep, and this is kind of our big challenge here in these next few months. Let's get people hooked on Premier. Let's get them hooked on Premier where that becomes in their mind. They can't imagine performing outside of Premier commission. Really giving them, and also the idea that it's not about a big build up to the end of the quarter to get there. It's you're always on the clock. Yeah. It's that rolling. You have a great month or best, you're always on the clock. And those are the two things we were really hoping to accomplish with the plan. And for those that are, again, I think another big challenge for us is that bottom third. There's some good people in there, some really good people in there that sometimes I want to shake them and say, do you realize if you leave here and go somewhere else, all the things that you've been pushing back on here, you're going to have to go do somewhere else. So let's get with the program here. Let us help you. We're happy with the words help, but let's get rolling. And I'd love for us to coach more of those people up versus out. But of course, at the end of the day, if they can't or won't, we'll have to do what we have to do.
Have we thought of maybe doing grassroots marketing, more of a local level, penetrating directly the business owner on a market-by-market basis?
I'm wide open to ideas. I think one of the things that we would say is right now is In fact, a couple of people from the marketing team in my office here earlier just kind of brainstorming how do we continue to the holy grail, and this is marketing, right? How do you, if we used to say, if your target market is left-handed leprechauns in Louisville, how do you make sure 100% of your marketing dollars go to left-handed leprechauns in Louisville? So what we're trying, if there are better ways, and that's hard, right? It's really hard. Like you can buy Pandora, you can buy Facebook ads, you can buy display ads. Everybody, including our clients, we're trying to target that better and better and better. Whether that's local marketing, guerrilla marketing, leave behinds, giveaways, the thing that we're going to get most of our clients, like we have to be able to attribution, right? Be able to attribute it back to, does it really work? And we've tested over the last 2 years. I'd say, look, we've been dipping our direct mail pieces. We partnered with Google on a piece that when people opened it up, it had a video playing, and they co-opted the cost of this for us. This was probably about 18 months ago. I can't remember what markets we tested this in, and we heard crickets. And we timed that with follow-up sales calls and so on, but it did cost a lot of money. It didn't do. It looked really cool, but it didn't move the needle at all. So I think we're pretty open to testing and trying if anyone's got ideas.
Great.
Very best marketing mill we have is well-trained, good-looking sales force, like the people we have on this call. Professional. We always say people don't set appointments with dead people. They're excited about what they do when they walk through the door. And calling on the right businesses with the right message. There's nothing better than that. Again, I think we try to support that with some of those. Putting our message in their inbox, their news feed. As they're surfing the web, hopefully they see some of our things. But the very best thing we can do is then a regular flow. And we also know it's not the first sales call that gets the appointment. It's not the second time you walk through the door that gets the appointment. It's handling, and it's not like the old print days where I tried once. I guess I'll try them again next year, right? Working through the gatekeepers and selling gatekeepers and befriending gatekeepers and showing gatekeepers how we can help them and why we stop by to see them and all those kinds of things. Like it was yesterday, walking every call. And one of the things I trained new hires on the most was, they would walk in, they would ask the person who handles the advertising, which is a terrible way to start the intro, right? Because that person was never in, right? That person was never in, and they'd be, okay, well, I'll stop back another time. I'd be, wait a minute, where do you guys keep your telephone directories? Where do you keep your phone books? And you start to engage the gatekeeper. Back here, back here, let me see. Over half the time it'd be our directory. Like, this is why we're stopping by. Is that the book you use? Yeah, I use it all the time. This is why we're stopping by. You guys aren't in there. You're invisible. You're not there, right? Oh, really? Well, you should probably talk to Pete about that. Oh, I thought you said he wasn't in, right? But again, it's one those kind of sales things. Just kind of working through with our people. Be pretty important. Quantity and quality of contacts there. Well, there are no other comments. Let me just. I was giving people in New York and the Mid-Atlantic states and Russ and KOP a hard time over the last month around how could they live in these godforsaken places that get all this snow. Nor'easters every week for 4 straight weeks. Well, my phone's buzzing here saying winter storm warning starting at 7 p.m. tonight, 8 to 10 inches of snow. Like, really? It's kind of interesting this time of year. Winter storm warnings and it's spring. Shouldn't happen.
I know.
Let me close with a couple things on this. First of all, again, I go back to your agenda. What a terrific agenda. This team, this group, this region, and way beyond this region, this company is very heavily influenced by Mr. Russ Michaels. I'm pointing at where Russ is on my screen. He obviously big influence on this group and this region. But as you all know, he touches so many parts of our business as part of his day job, through our sales training and recruiting teams, our digital specialists, our national teams, and then, of course, a big part of our field sales region. But his influence goes so far beyond, it's literally into every part of our business. Russ is usually the first one with his hands up when it comes to a new platform or a way that we're thinking about pricing a product or reviewing a product. And nobody is a better spokesperson, a better filter for what's going to help our sales organization than Russ Michaels. So I know you all feel that way. You're very fortunate to work with him. I know on behalf of the company, we were very fortunate to have someone of Russ's caliber, right there in our exec team meetings and, driving what's going to help us drive this business forward. And, Russ, sorry I couldn't be there for your conference, but I understand it was a great conference and you do a great work. Glad to call you a partner, glad to call you a friend, and, one of our best leaders in the organization. So, I'd love to have done that in person. And then, forget Russ, screw him for a second, right? He and I get to talk all the time. But this team, got a pretty impressive team here, and some challenges that we go through together. It's not a perfect world. Transformations don't go exactly always as planned. Your plan usually looks like this, up and to the, I'm not sure how it's translating, up and to the right. The reality is things go kind of more like this. But one of the things I'm very grateful for is the opportunity to work with and be surrounded by people like this. I so appreciate what you all do every day. Again, the majority of my career is kind of sitting where you're sitting. And I really do appreciate what you all do every day, the challenges that we're faced with. I try to keep myself in your chair. I really kind of consider myself still in your chair. I'm kind of wired that way. But I really do thank you for all you all do every day and continuing to help us drive this business forward. Yes, we will have challenges in front of us, but I think there's more opportunities in front of us than challenges. So I appreciate, in advance, in retroly, everything you've done over the past year since we've last had a chance to get together in person. And, more importantly, thank you for your attention to this. I can see this is not just an agenda that's built around, we get together and talk about a few things and it gets tucked away. I can really see this team digging in and making it happen. So, and this is what I feel. This is what I feel about this team. This is what I feel about our company right now. For a while, this thing kind of felt like this company a few years ago felt like it was spinning out of control. The control I feel like we have back in our hands. Doesn't mean everything's always going to go perfect, but it is in our hands. We have the opportunity here to execute a plan that I believe is very, is executable a word. If it is, it's probably not a very good one. But it is a plan that we feel we can absolutely go deliver and we can achieve against. And I feel like with this leadership team, your colleagues across the country, people who care, it's fun for me to see, I've had the chance, hanging in KOP or Cedar Rapids with our service teams. You see people with the same looks in their eyes as I see in your eyes. The care that they have. Sometimes, there's disconnects. There's people who care. I've had a chance to visit our operations in Manila, in the Philippines. Sometimes I know that people there, you wouldn't know that you were in Manila or if you were in Cedar Rapids or King of Prussia. The care that they have, just to see that around our business. We have some really talented people that are working really hard to get things done for us. So we've got a plan. We've got a plan that's going to require people to achieve, perform at standards. One of the great pieces of advice I got early in my career is never to apologize for having standards. We treat people well. We coach people well. We give people a lot of opportunity. Hopefully our comp plan rewards people really well for what they do. We should coach them there and have a lot of fun doing it, as best we can. So thanks for your leadership, and enjoy the rest of your Friday. Hopefully we'll get a chance to see each other in person sometime soon. Russ, thanks for scheduling this.
Kevin, thank you so much. Really appreciate the time with you. Virtual clap. But a lot of good information, and right back at you that we really appreciate your leadership in helping us in the organization to just keep focused on the things that matter, right? Keeping us charged and moving forward, both in the support and in the direction of the things that are changing the business and that do matter. And we're, our goal is to be the leader for you, to go get these things done first and, figure them out and blaze that path to digital growth before anybody else. So we can say, come on, it's not that hard. The water's fine. So much appreciated. Really appreciate it.
You're welcome. Have a great weekend, everyone.
Thanks.
Thanks, everybody. Have a good weekend. Stay warm or enjoy the sun, whichever is applicable.
Everyone.
Thanks, guys. We'll enjoy the sun.
Stay warm.
Go off.